Hello everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 2 on Master Ninja difficulty with Advanced Tactics. This is the second chapter, like I said. I'm not going to be putting the title cards on the videos. I think it's unnecessary. With this first confrontation, you're going to have the one IS Ninja spawn right behind you, and then the three right in front of him. So what I prefer to do is double back and XXY if I can't get a beheading on that guy. XXY followed by the Y button to do the OT. This is not an easy chapter. It's one of these. It's one of the frequent chapters in this game where you don't get a save point until far into the level, and you've got a little marathon of endurance to do. Looks like I missed that first tripwire. I didn't go up far enough here. So you're going to have these two guys here, and then I'm just going to switch to the Dragon Sword. You could prepare a charge if you want to, but I get too messed up coming out of the charge, not being able to orient myself to the environment. So what I've been disposed to do lately is stay on the stairs and throw the guys into the rocks. It doesn't really matter, just so long as you keep your back to the camera so that the mages in the background don't aggro until you're kind of done with these few mages here. So a lot of people just really detest this game because the IS ninjas on Mentor difficulty up starts throwing the IS shurikens and just spamming them. They don't do it on Warrior, they start on Mentor. Right here though, you're going to have the mage spawn, so prepare your charge, get your 1400 in essence, and then after this guy, there's going to be one IS ninja, and then I'm going to collect my money and just quickly charge my attack, and here comes the IS Ninja right there. And then after him, you're going to have one mage spawn. So if you can get him killed quickly enough, you can prepare your charge for the next wave of enemies, which is the same enemies, just different numbers of them. You're going to have three IS Ninjas coming up here, and just take them out any way you really want to. Preferably do your guillotine throw, just keep spamming that move so you can keep up with what the IS Ninjas are doing and mitigate the damage you take. But like I said, a lot of people just downright hate this game for what it does with the IS Ninjas. I think that if there was no guillotine throw, then I would hate it too, just as fervently. But since there is that move, you can deal with those guys properly, in my opinion. This is hard right here. What I'm doing here, instead of running forward and going past the stairs and causing the enemies to stop, is to go back and do either ETs, which are very deadly, and 360Y hold. There is a move where you just do the 360Y, but the one that has iframes, I think, well, probably both of them have iframes, but the latter has more iframes. So there's the 360Y hold. Just really watch out for the dogs. They're not as deadly as in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, but they like to do their own little flying swallow at you and wind path off your head. And I don't think they can outright kill you. This is not Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, so they don't do that. What's it called? The Azuna drop with this weapon is X forward, X, Y, X, Y. And when you're doing the X forward, X part of it, it's in relation to where your character's back is. I was recently playing a game called Devil May Cry 4 on the advice of many people who told me that it was a really good game. And in the tutorial part of that, they were teaching me how to do the moves. And there was one move where you do an uppercut. And first of all, I don't know anything about that game as far as a little bit of it I played. But that one move where it's not relative to where your back is. So in this game, when it says, like behind you, it's literally wherever your back is. So if your back is facing north in this game, then you would press up and then do the combo. But in Devil May Cry 4, you have to press to the right regardless of where your character's back is located. And I thought that was just downright, just really bizarre and unintuitive Just horrible controls. So anyway, that's one game I won't be playing ever. But this is a hard section because not only do you have to do this wave and finish it up and make sure you don't die, don't waste too many items, but you have the 3 archers at the end who cannot be unspawned. I've tried to unspawn them. I've ran back all the way to the very beginning of the stage and they still stay there. There are 2 kinds of archers in this game. One type, they're the same. They look the same, but they're 2 types actually. One type can be stunned with shurikens as you're moving towards them, and then that will cause them to drop their bow. The second type, you throw shurikens at them. Oh yeah, but right here, really be careful because sometimes the charging archers will get stuck behind some of the corners of the geometry. But some of the archers, they won't get stunned with shurikens. So these guys will, but you're coming at such an awkward angle here that it's so hard just to get up there. So I like to reserve at least 1 Nimpo, but 2 is better. You see how I threw the Inferno, but it only really dealt with one of the guys. So there's really nothing worse than getting killed right there after not only having done pretty well on that section, but just doing it at all. It's really bad. But anyway, over here is the first save point. So we're going to get our health filled up, and now we're going to backtrack and do what I think is the hardest fight in the entire game for what this section is up here. Just because of what, how early on in the game it is. I can't even do the Azuna drop yet. I think I have around 13,000 in essence. But there are so many goddamn enemies over here that it's just one of those sections they just never stop spawning. So what I like to do, there's two of these gates here. So you can either, this is where we actually fought Masakato in Ninja Gaiden 1 and Black and Ninja Gaiden Sigma. But anyway, I'm staying on this side because on the other side it's the same layout, except there's a chest there which interferes with the guillotine throw. So I like to stay over here and simply just throw enemies into the wall. I know this is spamming an attack, but really what can you do when enemies are non-stop throwing those daggers into you? You really can't do anything except that move. I mean, you could win path and do UTs and do Azuna drops, but I can't do the Azuna drop quite yet. So what my plans are for this level is to upgrade the Dragon Sword to level 2. So that will mean that I have upgraded 2 of my 3 weapons, and I'll leave the Falcon's Talons not upgraded. It will come in handy for the Resetsu fight and for Genshin, so you can do the Flying Swallow into the Azuna drop. But okay, so if you there's 2 ways to deal with the mid-level boss and the boss. You either will throw Nimpo to deal with the lackeys, or you'll do the flying Swallow Azuna drop. Since I won't be able to do that move, since it's a level 2 move and I won't be able to have all my weapons upgraded, I'm just going to throw Nimpo. But if you want to go the route of upgrading the Falcon's Talons, that's great. But I won't be able to do that until the next level. I mean, look at these enemies here. Look at the body count piling up here. And this is for the Life of the Gods. One of the earlier Life of the Gods. And I'll be getting all the items in this game as well, but not. I'm not doing the Test of Valor. I'll be getting all the Lives of the 1,000 Gods and the Life of the Gods, of which there's 18. But yeah, just stick with this. A lot of people, they can get through level 1, but they can't get through this level. Just look what I'm doing as far as when I get tagged with an incendiary shuriken. I either go for a guillotine throw, which is the number 1 way to mitigate that damage, or you can also win path and if it's detonating when you're bouncing off the guy's head, you're not going to take any damage. Or you can, if you're already charging charging an attack to go for a ET or a UT, what you can do is just let go of the charge and it won't damage you. And likewise, if you're already going into the Azuna drop, you can not take any damage. So those are pretty good ways. You can also, if it's convenient enough for you, and if you have a chest in the environment, you just open a chest, and that will cause the thing not to explode. But those are the main ways to get rid of it. But the primary one, the guillotine throw. You can do that move from the beginning of the game, and it works wonders. It will save you and make this game a lot less harder than it already is. So was that the last guy? What I was doing there was a little risky, but I was trying to get UTs to get my 1400 in essence. And it worked out. Now we're going to go back. And we're going to have a similar fight. Whenever you're in this chapter, or the chapter entitled A Quickening Devastation, you're going to be warring with enemies quite heavily. And I personally think that they're about even as far as the difficulty. Too bad I couldn't get those targets up there. I think you should be able to throw shurikens up there, not having the bow and arrow. We will be getting that presently. And up ahead, we have it looks like an unfair situation until you realize that if you don't fall back and instead use the enemies that are rushing at you to wind path off of. I like to wind path once or twice after having done the reverse wind a couple times, and then go for parries, go for the guillotine throw. And there's a fight up here that I wasn't even aware existed because I was doing things in a different kind of order. But there is a fight out in the little courtyard out here, but you have to do it before you acquire the Falcon's Talons. So even after a fight like this, I would go back and save it, because it's just going to annoy you. And I think those archers were the type that they won't get stunned if you throw shurikens at them. So there's not too many enemies out here if you want to do it. This is a completely optional battle, because once you trigger the Route of Trials fight, this won't exist. And the interesting thing that I noted here was that once you kill all the enemies, then you're going to have, I think, 3 IS ninjas spawning from one side of this courtyard, and you could just do UTs and get your 700 in essence. So if you look to the upper right, you'll see after I kill this mage, you'll see them start. See that guy jumping out right there? If you rewind that, he jumped out of the bushes. So if you're located over in this venue, you can prepare charges, preferably with the lunar staff, and they'll fall right into the charge. You'll get your maximum amount of essence. So I think there's only one more of these guys. But always look for situations like this where, especially with those IS ninjas, where it's hard to get off UTs unless they're charging at you, intent on getting to you, rather than intent on throwing those exploding daggers into you. So this next fight, first of all, make sure you manipulate this chest here so it gives you 1,000 in essence rather than the huge bats that come. Now this is a hard fight here. I think it's a little easier than the Route of Trials when we're going to be in this domicile doing the exact same thing. It's just that this time around there's like 8 guys at once. So another thing to note is that when you're doing the guillotine throw, you can like throw guys 180 degrees. So it's not like you have to throw the guy like literally right in front of you. And I'll also make sure that you're assessing whether it's prudent to OT the guy or go for another guillotine throw if you see another guy in close proximity. And then that could possibly get you 2 OTs right in a row. But this is a pretty hard fight. And you're going to be rewarded with a weapon here, as well as a grains of spiritual life. So it said take right there. That means that the fight's over. Here's the grains of spiritual life. Here's the weapon right here, which is going to be a really great weapon. And then just exit, and then make sure you save it before you do the Rod of Trials fight. Okay, the next fight we're going to be doing, like I mentioned, was it's called the Rod of Trials fight. So it's completely optional if you want to do some of the Tests of Valor. Excuse me. This is the best strategy that I know of to deal with this, because otherwise you'll have to fight this in the wide open out in the courtyard. So what you want to do is you'll fight anywhere from, well, first of all, open the door each time and run to the far end. That way it will close behind you. If you don't run all the way to the end and instead stay close to the door, it's not going to seal shut, and you'll have a bunch more than just 2 or 3 of these IS ninjas at a time. But you want to kill, if there's 2, you want to kill one of them, and then do not do an OT on the second one, or whatever the last one is. Just cut him up as best you can with X attacks, and try to get, there's no trying about it. It's just luck based, whether you're going to get blue or that orangish red essence. Excuse me. But that's what I'm looking for, and each time you could wait for your health to regenerate. So it's a very easy strategy. You just open the door, run to the far end, and I even like to kind of stay over in this little corner and just fling that guy into the wall, OT him, and then this guy. Oh, it's just one guy. See, you'll get anywhere from 1 to 3 guys. It's normally 2 guys. And it's just very important, in order for you to not have to use any health, to not do the OT on the last guy in the room, because, as you know, OTs only give you yellow essence, which is only 70 in this case. You'll only get 70. So I ended up getting two Nimpo essence drops, which is great because those things cost 6,000 apiece. So this whole mission, I didn't have to use any healing items. Plus, I got those two. I got those 2 really good drops, and that saved me from having to spend the 12,000. Sorry, I was thinking about something else, but yeah, that's the basic strategy here. And after this fight, I had just enough to upgrade my Dragon Sword to level 2, and I was left with less than 500 essence. And as far as everything else, I don't have too much. I'm not really concerned with having health items or anything like that. I just need the mushrooms to refill my key gauge during the mid-level boss fight. And did you see how I was tagged with the incendiary shuriken right there? And then I was able to cancel the detonation effect and spare myself getting damaged by doing the reverse wind evade attack. So normally what's going to happen is, at the end of this, you'll have to fight the archer who remains out there, or sometimes you'll just inevitably unspawn him. And he's the type of archer that you cannot stun with the shurikens. But anyway, I love this game, as you could well imagine. It's my 3rd campaign on this fucking game. But I am enjoying just playing it straight up without, having 50, 75, 100,000 essence like I would normally. I think on campaign 2, at this point, I had 300,000 essence from grinding for money. And there's 2 really good spots to do it in this game. One is on level 1, and one is on the Flying Fortress Daedalus. Very good spot with the executioners. And I'll reference that when we come across it. Okay, so it looks like normally I would get the cutscene where it says the candles have been lit, but this guy is still remaining to get killed first. So watch as I see the shurikens. They don't do anything. I think that's wrong. He should get stunned no matter what. Okay, we have the Rod of Trials in our possession now. Now we could do the Test of Valor. I'm going to switch to my Lunar, and in that transition of that cutscene, oh, by the way, at the base of the stairs right there, that's the tripwire point. So if you just cross it, jump to the left, try to get yourself an on-landing charge, and we're going to go to the next save point. You probably won't need any healing items, but it's bullshit because these guys are up here, obviously. They can be unspawned very easily. Just run back to the save point and come back here and they won't be here. But since I'm leaving no head unsevered, I'm just going to take care of these guys. And I think I do the Izuna drop right here. There's some iframes. But the other archers on the second two, the next towers, they're deadly accurate over here. They're very deadly. So just be very cautious when you're up top. I think I almost get hit right over here. Yeah. So jump to about right there, jump back, do your charge. This is possible. Let's see what kind of... Yeah, I did the Lunar 360 UT. So my predicament here was that I have a save point coming up, and I just got that healing item, but I don't want to use it since the save point will fill my health up, but I have to preserve my health, obviously. So we have two archers up here, X, X, Y, Y, and then X plus A over to him, do the flying swallow, same deal. And then in the distance up there, the save point glows. What you want to do is from the base of the stairs, do a running evade, trigger those guys, and then come on up here. There's about 10 of these guys, and sometimes you can get away with doing an ultimate technique up here, but more times than not, what happens is I pay for my greed and get my charge broken by the incendiary shurikens, and not only that, but take heavy damage. See right here? It happens every single time. But sometimes, like I said, it's just luck. You'll be able to get one of those UTs off without getting interrupted. So you see how greedy I am, and like I said, I paid for my greed. Definitely paid for it big time. XXYY. And this is a really good spot to stand on either tower. Yeah, I would say either tower. I just didn't want to use my healing item. It's a $5,000 item. Why should I have to waste it when there's a save point coming up, but I can't afford to make any mistakes? So my health regenerated, but I thought there was some guy down there, but I was just scanning to see if that save point was a glow. And we're going to continue making our way up to the castle. Okay, when you go into this cave here, you're going to be assaulted from the front and from the back in typical Ninja Gaiden fashion. But it isn't as though the next time you do it, it's going to change in any regard. So all I really do is just go to where I suspect the tripwire point is, guard, and when they're clawing at me, I press the Y button and then do the launcher parry off of, I do the Izuna drop off of the launcher parry. Then once you jump out of this, once you jump up using the flying bird flip, you want to jump one time forward and then do your charge. And then these archers here, I think they can be unspawned. I've never tried it, but normally archers can be unspawned if you just go back far enough. And I think I even go down here to try to expedite things. One thing I did want to correct, I was telling you guys that you get 1,400 in essence for UT killing the mages. I was incorrect. I was rewatching my second guide for this game, and it's actually 1050 that you get. Is it 1050? Yeah, I believe it's 1050 for those guys. It's not 1400. The most any enemy gives you in this game is 3000, but those are the death worms, and we won't see those guys for a while. Okay, so I'm gonna. Did you see what I did right there? I had some ninpo coming into me, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just added to my lesser value, so I guarded until I was regenerated health-wise, and then I absorbed the blue essence. And when I'm doing the Azuna drop, I always twirl the camera around just for fun because I love to do it. And they took it out of Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 for some reason. And I also was thinking, did I already go over this? Why I think Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 is harder? It's because it works. It doesn't work as well. It's a little stiffer in my opinion. This game's more fluid. But just watch out for these archers. I think even another one drops down over here. So just be very careful. Yeah, one guy dropped down right there. And then you have another one in the distance. Those flaming arrows took away a damn lot of health. Yeah, so even he couldn't be stunned, but I was able to execute him, take him out. Then I'm going to move forward, spawn the next fight, which is just four guys. Let's see. Yeah, 4 of these IS ninjas. It's not too bad of a fight. Just get your parries in, block, get your OTs. Make sure you're mitigating the damage. So now I can finally do the Azuna drop. And by the end of the level, I did have enough money to potentially upgrade a 3rd weapon, but instead I wanted to be a little more prudent and just buy items. When you come up here, you're going to be shot at by archers. Just watch out. I don't know how that didn't hit me. And then this is important over here because this will give you 4,480, or it'll give you 1,000. The way you can get the 4,480 is to do that right there. Get your charge. See? And then you're going to have 2 IS ninjas running down the stairs to greet you. And then after this, I would probably recommend saving it. I would recommend saving it before you get the chest, and then keep coming back up here until you get your 4,480. I mean, why not? You know, it's 3,080 more than you would ordinarily get. Or if you want essence, just kill the fish and try to get essence drops, because those are pretty good for giving those out. Then when you retrace your steps up here, you're going to have your typical ambush, starting with a mage. So I try for a beheading on that guy, and then I follow it up with a Azuna drop. Even though I don't have the Falcon's Talons up to level 2, and even though I cannot do the Flying Swallow into the Azuna drop, I can still do the Flying Swallow with my Dragon Sword, and that stuns the enemy. And then coming off that, you don't have any iframes or anything like that, but you can quickly go into the Azuna drop combo and build iframes as you're doing the body slam attack. So this is a hard fight, and if I were you, I would always strive to kill those mages with a UT, because that is a lot of money that you get for those guys. And once you go onto the roof, you're going to have 4 mages to kill. It's an optional battle. And it is another one of those areas where you can just farm essence if you want to. It's actually very, very lucrative because it's 4 enemies and it's 1,050 per kill. So that's quite a lot. That would be like 6,000. No, 4,000. I'm very bad at math. I suck. But I don't care because I don't like math. I like Ninja Gaiden 2. And then we're going to be finally getting a checkpoint. Or not a checkpoint, they're called save points. So the guys, they are optional, and I always fall off the roof. Basically, when you get onto the roof, you just want to spawn the mages, and then try to turn around and build up a charge. But most likely, you're just going to be able to get off an ET. Let's see what actually ends up happening over here. See, I'm going to turn around. Okay, I was fortunate enough to be able to build up a UT rather than an ET, which is very weak. So, I did the forward, I did the Y hold, and that guy got a beheading, and just trying to take these guys out. Then once you get down inside, you're going to have just like 5 archers to kill, so you're going to have to, in order to survive, you need the iframes because they're just relentless for shooting their arrows. And I think I had a charge, a chain and attack down here, but see, in ET it just does jack shit. And since there's enemies around, we can't use the save point. So we have yeah, they're all archers, but these guys are the stationary ones until you move close to them, and then they do their attack. So finally we're going to be able to get the Fiend's Bow and do the mid-level boss battle, which I've got to say, it's utter trash. It's a small room, there's a lot of lag. You know, the Rosetsu's got to have his goddamn lackeys, and I think there's twice as many lackeys as there is in the actual boss fight of this level versus Genshin. He only has 4 incendiary shuriken lackey ninjas. But this guy over here, he has, I think 8, like I mentioned. But here's the thing: you can use essence, use the Nimpo to do your attacks, or you can, if you have the Falcon's Talons up to level 2, it's really good to Fly Swallow and then Azuna drop them one by one. Okay, so first of all, always go for an ET. You normally get time for an ET. Sometimes you can get a UT, but I wouldn't recommend doing that because it always lines up to where you miss because the guy moves. The ET is actually a lot safer to do. So you have a couple choices here. I mean, if you have like 5 or 6 uses of the Nimpo, you could take the guy outright, but then you're going to have to fight the IS ninjas before you progress and have the door open for you. So it's one of those situations where the IS ninjas have to be taken care of, unlike in Chapter 1 where you can get away with just killing the boss and have lackeys outstanding. Wow, look at that combo. Just devastating damage here. And they don't give you a checkpoint after this either. They're really bad about that. They don't give you a checkpoint after they don't give you one after the Brute Fiend in Chapter 4. They don't give you one after the Drunken Skeleton you face. They don't give you one after the second Zidonius. They're really bad about doing that. So so you might see some tentativeness over here on behalf of myself. What's going on is I'm going to switch to the lunar, and I wasn't sure where. You see, I did this charge right here, and the only reason I did that was because I thought the tripwire was close to the stairs, but see, I didn't know there was a corner right there, and then here are the guys right here. I just did not have enough time. But you have to be extremely cautious down here. And you see over the chest over here, you don't want to get that until you've saved your data, because you can come down here and get, I think it's almost 3,000 in essence. It was kind of a weird figure when I added it up. I didn't leave the footage in, but it's either 2,000 to 3,000 in essence, or you can manipulate the fish and get Nimpo. And up ahead, I inadvertently unspawn the guy who just shot me, the archers, because coming down here, I didn't know that they would unspawn. In a situation like that, I blame the game, and I don't fault myself or credit cowardliness to my own self, because first of all, I didn't know, and second of all, why would you make a game where your foes that you've had spawn just disappear? So see, again, as I did that, you don't want to have the essence come into you before you've regenerated. And there they go, they're gone. But there will be one more guy dropping in right over here, in true Ninja Gaiden 2 fashion. So I'm going to do an Izuna drop. Oh, I didn't do the Izuna drop. My rationale for that, though, was I was trying to get to a Nimpo drop. But make sure after you save it, you go manipulate that chest. Come over here, you're going to get a cutscene. And then once it's done, you want to hold your charge with the bow. And there's going to be guys on either side, but you can take care of this guy fast enough so that the guys to the right don't attack you. But that kill that I did right there, that's 490. So a UT kill with the sword is the same as a UT kill with the bow. And as I was speaking about that a second ago, I was doing dragging essence. So get competent at dragging essence, because the essence will only come into you when you've killed all the guys. But a lot of the times you're waiting for new enemies to spawn, and you need that essence or it will disappear. So drag it over to you by holding the Y button, but don't hold it down all the way to where you do a charge, or you'll waste the essence and get, I think, only 15% of what you're due. And we just have a little bit more. We're going to have another save point, so you have some save points that are close together. So if you really wanted to, after you do all this stuff and you get to the next save point, if you don't want to waste the heal feature, you can just go back to the previous save point and save your data. It's a little inconvenient, though. Here you have a choice. You can either just straight up attack these guys quickly, or you can do a 360 UT with the lunar through those shades and kill a couple guys, and you might as well get your 490. Like, I'm all about money when it comes to these games, but I'm not depending on farming essence for my own campaign. And again, I'm mainly doing this guide. It's going to sound selfish, I know, but it's for my own benefit, and this guide is a real personal project for me, because it'll be the first time I've gone through the game without, completely farming for essence. I'll be manipulating things and stuff like that. Manipulating chests. That's just good. That's just good playing if you do that. But you get into the cheapness part when you start farming for essence, and you just take the challenge out, and you take the satisfaction of beating the game out. And I'm a straight shooter. Anyway, so we're gonna hop into the dragon's mouth. Taking a left up here when you get out of his mouth will get you a mushroom. And then it's very important to note over here, 1080 per kill. There's at least there's 10 or 12 of these mages here, so get as many UT kills as you can possibly get. I ended up going from like 12,000 to 22,000. So before I even started this fight, I did not have enough to upgrade a weapon, because upgrading a weapon at level from level 1 to 2 is 20,000. But when I had cleared all these guys, I had surpassed that 20,000 goal that I needed. And if you want to, you can chain attacks, but just remember that if you do that, you're going to get less essence. Some terminology I should let you guys know. You see how the essence is just floating in the air, kind of hovering? That's called having the essence staggered. It's very deep language, and not deep. It's just that like if you are listening to a pro talk, he'll talk about the essence being staggered in the environment. I feel that it takes too long for the essence to actually stagger and come out of the body, because you're standing there waiting to charge most of the time. See how it kind of slowly comes out of the body? But anytime I refer to the essence being staggered, I just mean that I have essence in the environment that's floating and waiting for me to decide what I want to do with it, whether it's charge and attack with it, or drag it to myself, or any of other things. Okay, so when you get up here, there are gray ninjas to the left that you spawn, and these guys here that you spawn, the IS ninjas. If you want, you can spawn the gray ninjas first, and then hop out and just take care of them on the roof if you want to expedite charges and things like that. Same goes for those IS ninjas. In the next chapter, I'll be going over how to do on-landing charges with the bow. It's very simple, the same exact principle. I think it's deplorable how they took out the on-landing charges for the bow and arrow in Sigma 2. Like, that game will always be a masterpiece to me, but they changed so many things about it that it really irritates me, especially the incendiary shurikens. Okay, so there's the Lives of 1,000 Gods. Instead of saving it, I'm just going to kill these guys first. There's about 3 of these IS ninjas. And I always struggle to get down here quickly enough, but even though I got down there pretty fast, see how they just tagged me with an incendiary shuriken? Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and just quickly grab the Life of the Gods. Don't worry, just by coming up here, you're not going to spawn the final fight, because you actually have to interact with the door. But just come on down here, and then you'll be able to do some shopping. You'll be able to do your saving. The Lunar or the Dragon Sword both work well for Genshin. You have to remember, though, that he's got 4 lackeys to deal with. So you're in really good shape, actually, if you have the Falcon's Talons up to level 2. I only have them up to level 1, but I mean, you could still Azuna drop them with any of those weapons, and that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to start out with the Dragon Sword, because I'm more comfortable doing the Azuna drop with that weapon, and take out the lackeys. Just remember, there's only 4 of them, though, and they have to be dealt with. The thing about Genshin, though, is if you're in his attack radius and you jump, he'll cut you down out of the air every single time. And I'll be going over Genshin. Look at that splash damage. That is just amazing when I saw that. Sometimes it's easy to waste the essence, the Nimpo, because you see how he... Oh, man, that pissed me off. Sometimes you can waste the essence, though, if you accidentally target Genshin, because it does nothing for him. But once the battle is just you and him without any lackeys, you can do 2 moves work great. One of which is with the Lunar XXY. The other is with the Dragon Sword, and that is YYY. Now this guy, he's a lot easier than in Sigma 2, because his bottom line doesn't take that much health off you. And he doesn't throw the Piercing Void, too, which is what was annoying on Sigma 2. All you need to do is just keep your guard up, keep evading him, let him do his combo, let him quote-unquote combo out, and then evade over to him and do your XXY. If you don't, here's the thing. If you're in like mid-combo and you realize that your hits aren't connecting, just stop the combo. I know it's hard to cancel out of a combo, but just stop attacking and back off. Same goes for if he's guarding heavily. Just stop attacking, because he's gonna follow up all that heavy blocking with an attack. Other than that, though, you're just waiting for him to do his combo. Just feel the rhythm of the fight, and when he does that dash across the screen, that is a really good time to evade once and then do your strikes. It should be noted, though, that whatever weapon you want for level 3, make sure you kill him with it, because the first gauntlet on level 3 is pretty challenging, and it is annoying to have to keep switching every time you respawn to what you actually want. And for me personally, Let's see, see how you can counterattack him? You can counterattack bosses in this game, so don't think you can't do that either. But for me, I like to start off level 3 with a Dragon Sword. So it also served the purposes of the guide that I could show you the Dragon Sword attack. I think it leaves you a little bit more vulnerable though, so I don't like to do it. But I'm going to switch if he gives me a chance right here. Switch to the Dragon Sword. And just do the Y attacks. But that's the end of the fight. I'll see you in Chapter 3.